Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about things men wear that women hate. But as I was compiling this list, I kind of realized that these are just things I think in general in 2020 maybe are not cool anymore. At the end of the day, all of these are opinions, but if you are someone that is looking for some style advice, maybe you're new to the game and you don't know where to start, you don't know what looks good on you and what doesn't, I really just want to be a source that's going to be helpful. I want to be that close girlfriend that you text before you go on a big date and you don't know what to wear. So really no judgment from me. I will not judge you for wearing any of these things. If something on this list makes you so happy when you wear it, then please continue to wear it and rock it. If you don't care what women think or what anyone thinks for that matter, keep doing your thing. But for all of you that are maybe looking for a little extra help, I think this video will be very helpful for you. So let's jump into it. Okay guys, number one on my list is wearing socks with sandals. So not only do I think this looks a little bit silly, but I think it defeats the whole purpose of wearing the sandal in general. So I think men wear sandals to maybe give their feet a little breath of fresh air in the warmer climates, but when you're pairing it with a sock, it totally defeats that purpose. Also, if you're finding yourself in a situation when it's maybe too cold out to just wear the sandal on its own, so you're picking the sock to go with it, I think maybe you just shouldn't wear that sandal in the first place and maybe opt for a sneaker or just a closed-toed shoe in general. I think sandals are okay in certain scenarios, but when you're wearing them with socks, that is not one of them. Number two, we have flip-flops with jeans. So I think this was very cool in the 90s. You know, you're wearing your flip-flops with your jeans and you've got frosted tips. Maybe you're in a boy band and you're super cool. But these days, flip-flops with jeans is not the coolest thing. So like I mentioned before, I think flip-flops are okay in certain scenarios, those being when you're at the pool, maybe when you're at the beach, if you live in a more tropical climate. But I think if you're wearing flip-flops with jeans, that is not the situation when it would be maybe acceptable to wear that flip-flop. So I also think wearing flip-flops with jeans gives a very odd silhouette. It can actually make your legs look a lot shorter than they are. So you have the jean and then it just cuts off at the flip-flop and you don't have any kind of leverage with the shoe that you're wearing, so it just makes your legs appear a lot shorter than they actually are. So like I said, flip-flops with jeans is just not the best look. If you wear flip-flops with shorts at the pool or something, I think that's okay. If you're wearing jeans, I think you should opt for a sneaker or just some other shoe besides a flip-flop. Next is overly accessorizing. So I think as a man, accessorizing is totally okay. I think wearing jewelry is okay if that shows your personal style and your flair a little bit, but I do think this can be overdone. I know a lot of guys will wear a ring on every finger and a watch and a stack of bracelets up their wrist and a necklace, and honestly, it's just too much. I think less is more. I've said that many times, and this is one of the cases where I think it's most important. It's okay, like I said, to show a little bit of your personality and your style through the accessories that you're wearing, whether that be jewelry, whether it be a scarf, anything like that. But as long as you do it in moderation, I think it's okay. So keep it simple. I really do think in the case of accessorizing, less is more. Next, we have flashy branded logos. So when I think of this, I instantly think of that big Gucci belt with the Gucci logo on the front, or Gucci sandals, or a t-shirt with the brand name big across the front. I know when we were all younger, we wore these sweatshirts that had Hollister plastered across the front of it. And while that might have been cool when we were young, you reach a certain age when it's not really stylish anymore. It doesn't look as good. So I know a lot of people buy designer to maybe show that they have some kind of money and that they can afford it. But I think when you wear too many flashy logos and you have the brand on everything, it just screams that you're doing that on purpose, and I think it defeats the purpose of you buying the designer piece in general. So you can buy something designer without it being tacky. I think there are many options out there that are better choices than a flashy Gucci belt. I think a regular belt would always look better than a Gucci belt, for example. So there are ways to do designer things tastefully without wearing that flashy logo. So next is a little bit different. This one is wearing too much cologne. So there's a saying that fragrance should be discovered, not announced. And I think that that really is the case. You don't want to be that guy that's in the elevator that it's choking everybody else out because you just have too much cologne on. So while I do love cologne, I love when Teddy wears it, I think it is a lot better when you can't smell them from a mile away. The only time I should smell you is if I'm very close to you or I'm giving you a hug. So same thing as I mentioned with the accessories. I think with cologne, less is more. I think it does the trick just as well. Okay, next we have clothing that doesn't fit. So maybe you lost a bunch of weight and the clothes that you used to wear don't fit you anymore. Invest in yourself and get yourself some new things that fit you perfectly. I've mentioned before in last videos that fit with certain things is super important, like a suit or a t-shirt, but really I think in general fit is important with everything that you're wearing. I think that fit always trumps style. You know, maybe something out there is really popular but it doesn't work with your body type. I think knowing that and understanding that is the first step in really creating your own personal style and figuring out what works for you and what doesn't. The same as wearing something that is too big, wearing something that is too tight is just as bad. I think a lot of times really muscular guys or guys that are into like bodybuilding and stuff like that wear very tight clothing to show off their body, which is great that they're confident in their body, but I think there's a tasteful way to wear clothing that still shows off your physique without it being too tight and suffocating and obvious that you're doing that. So just knowing what works on your body type is super important. All right, next we have clothes that are worn out. I'm looking at all of you guys that have 50 holes in your underwear and you're still hanging on to them. I think it's about time to retire them and get yourself some new stuff. I think it's okay to invest and spend a little bit more on your clothes that will last you longer, especially if you've gotten total use out of something. I think it's okay to repurchase or buy something that is a little bit nicer that will last you a longer time. So more than just holes, I think wearing something that has stains on it or that is just frayed too much. If you're wearing a pair of denim that once had like distressed holes and now they're just big holes with none of the distressing in them, I think it's time to maybe retire those too. So wearing clothes that are fresh and clean is much better looking than clothes that are worn out and tattered, and I think that's pretty universal. All right, next we have running shoes with jeans. So I think for men, sometimes finding what shoe works with a pair of jeans can be tricky, especially based on the style of jean that you're wearing. But I think no matter what type of jean you're wearing, a running shoe is never a good choice. So if you're someone who wears running shoes with jeans, maybe swap out that running shoe for a sneaker like a Stan Smith or a Converse or something that is just your personal style. So anything besides that running shoe is going to be a better choice. It will create a nicer silhouette and is going to look better with a different pair of shoes. All right, next we have deep V-neck. So unless you are wanting to look like a cast member of the Jersey Shore, I think you should try to avoid the deep V. I think a regular V-neck is totally okay. A crew neck is great. If you're looking for that more traditional t-shirt fit, just really try to avoid that deep V. I think a lot of times it just shows too much cleavage and your chest hair, which as women, I don't necessarily think that we want to see. I think a deep V just gives off a certain type of vibe that maybe if you're trying to be a little bit more classy or stylish, you would want to avoid. So like I said, if you're someone that's wearing a t-shirt, opt for that regular V-neck or the crew neck. Okay guys, last on my list we have cargo shorts or cargo pants. So unless you are hiking a mountain and you have a granola bar in every pocket, I think you should opt for something besides the cargo pants. So I know that they're very functional. I know that's why people that are outdoors a lot and go on hikes choose these over a traditional tan pant. But if you're someone that is just living your daily life in the office or you're in a more casual setting, I think opting for a nice clean tan pair of shorts or a pair of tan chinos is going to be a better choice than the cargo. So guys, that concludes my list of 10 things men wear that women hate. Like I mentioned, these are all opinions, so please don't feel judged by me. I'm just trying to be a helpful source for anyone who is just starting out or maybe doesn't know what looks good and what doesn't. If you guys found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for when I release new content. Also, feel free to follow me on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I would love to connect with you guys on there as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.